and welcome to Jazzology, presented by Savage Content. I'm your host, Willard Jenkins, giving two jazz fans the opportunity to compete against each other for a chance to win $100. All right, well, Matt, this year marks the centennial birth year of the great drummer, band leader, Max Roach. One of Max's most famous recordings was the album We Insist, also known for its Freedom Now suite. That album included Olatunji on African drums and which of the following percussionists? Would that be A, Walfredo Reyes, B, Ray Mantilla, C, Nicky Marrero, D, Ray Barreto, or E, Jose Manuel?
This is hard. Okay, it's cool. I feel like Ray Barreto is too easy. I kind of feel like Ray Mantilla could be, but I also feel like I honestly it's between Ray Mantilla and Ray Barreto, and I'm gonna go with D, Ray Barreto.
That is incorrect. So Earl has an opportunity to steal the question. Earl?
Okay, I was thinking Ray.
Hold on. Let me read the question again, please.
Go ahead.
This year marks the centennial birth year of the great drummer, band leader, Max Roach. One of Max Roach's most famous recordings was the album We Insist, also known for its Freedom Now suite. That album included Olatunji on African drums and which of the following percussionists? Would that be A, Walfredo Reyes, B, Ray Mantilla, C, Nicky Marrero, D, Ray Barreto has been eliminated, or E, Jose Manuel?
I would say Ray Mantilla.
That is correct.
All right.
Ray Mantilla was indeed a part of that recording. And you know, Matt, Ray Mantilla also was the only one of those percussionists that played in Max Roach's percussion ensemble, Boom. So that would have been one of the keys. All right, Enzo, besides his classic performance with Ahmad Jamal on Poinciana, who else did New Orleans drummer Vernel Fournier record with? Did Vernel Fournier record with A, Gary Burton, B, Lorez Alexandria, C, Etta Jones, D, Houston Person, or E, all of the above?
Oh, that is quite difficult. I love the drummer Vernel. It's fantastic. Let me see who can say. I can say maybe Etta Jones.
Your answer is C, Etta Jones?
Yes.
That is incorrect. So, Sandy, with an opportunity to steal the question, and let me repeat the question, Sandy.
Okay.
Besides his classic performance with Ahmad Jamal on Poinciana, who else did New Orleans drummer Vernel Fournier record with? Did he record with A, Gary Burton, B, Lorez Alexandria, C, Etta Jones, D, Houston Person, or E, all of the above? And Etta Jones, C, has been eliminated.
Okay, I was kind of debating between Houston Person and all of the above, but since Etta Jones has been eliminated, I guess it could still be all of the above. But I'm going to go with Houston Person.
That That too is incorrect. The correct answer is, you had it. The correct answer is all of the above.
You know what? I knew that he was performing with Ada Jones, so that's why I say, but I didn't know that
Didn't
he
know
was
about
also
the All right. Earl, who was the second, and I emphasize second, trap drummer in the great band Weather Report? Was it A, Alphonse Mouzon, B, Don Elias, C, Eric Gravatt, D, Greg Errico, or E, Leon Ndugu Chancellor?
Wow. Weather report. That's a good one too. Haven't heard them in a while. The only name that I really, well, I shouldn't say that, but what comes most to me right now is A, Alphonse Manzo.
Alphonse Mouzon?
Yes.
That is incorrect. And one reason that's incorrect is because Alphonse Mouzon was actually the first trap drummer in Weather Report.
That's what I know.
So Matt has an opportunity to steal the point. Matt, who was the second trap drummer in the great band Weather Report? A, Alphonse Mouzon has been eliminated. B, Don Elias. E, Eric Gravatt. C, Eric Gravatt. D, Greg Errico. Or E, Leon Ndugu Chancellor?
So for me, this has got to be between Eric Gravatt and Leon Ndugu Chancellor. It's a guess. I'm going to go with Ndugu E.
That is incorrect. The second trap drummer in Weather Report was C, Eric Gravatt.
Wow.
You almost had that right, Matt, but you went with another choice. Greg, who was Randy Weston's trap drummer for some of his late period recordings and special concerts? Was that A, Jack DeJohnette, B, Louis Nash, C, Jonathan Blake, D, Max Roach, or E, Al Foster?
Late period Randy Weston, correct?
Yep.
Okay. Yeah, I would rule out Jack DeJohnette for that. But I'm more familiar with Randy's earlier and mid-period catalog. I'm going to take a stab at B, Louis Nash.
And that is correct.
I finally have a worthy adversary.
Randy generally used Neil Clark on African percussion.
Mm-hmm.
But there were occasions when he wrote special compositions and concerts and whatnot, and he would want a trap drummer, and his trap drummer of choice was Louis Nash towards the latter part of his career. So you are correct. Matt, who was the percussionist on Randy Weston's 1972 album for the CTI label titled Blue Moses? Was it A, Ayrton Moreira, B, Olatunji, C, Armando Peraza, D, Neil Clark, or E, Richie Pablo Landrum?
So I know that Neil Clark was his percussionist of choice in the latter years. I don't know if he was playing with Randy as early as 1972. Could be. But, I mean, I most associate, like, if I'm thinking of CTI and I'm really, like, digging deep, I'm thinking either Ayrton or Armando Peraza. And this being just being CTI and just the vibe of Creed Taylor, I'm going to go with A, Ayrton Moreira.
That is correct. That's correct, Matt.
Nice one, Matt.
Earl, as a young, emerging artist, NEA Jazz Master drummer Terri Lyne Carrington drummed with which of the following jazz masters? Would that be A, Dizzy Gillespie, B, Stan Getz, C, Wayne Shorter, D, Clark Terry, or E, all of the above?
Oh, that's a good question. Terri Lyne Carrington. Oh gosh, I think I remember seeing her when she first came out. I forget what show it was on, some TV show. But anyway,
That used to be Arsenio Hall.
yes, right. Yes, right. So, saying that and hearing that, she she is a younger person. I will say younger than Dizzy and maybe Stan and maybe, but I'm going to go with Wayne Shorter because she probably would have gotten around to have meeting him. Oh, wait, let me back that up. I'm going to say Clark Terry. I think
Clark
it was Clark
All
Terry.
Matt, that's the incorrect answer. So Matt, as a young emerging artist, NEA Jazz Master drummer Terri Lyne Carrington drummed with which of the following jazz masters? Would that have been A, Dizzy Gillespie, B, Stan Getz, C, Wayne Shorter has been eliminated, D, Clark Terry, or C, Wayne Shorter, D, Clark Terry has been eliminated, or E, all of the above?
So when you said to our contestant Earl that he had the wrong answer, that's only a half truth. He had the partial right answer, and I've come to learn on Jazzology that when Willard uses E, all the above, about 60 to 75% it's all the above. So I'm going to go ahead and say E, all of the above.
That is correct. And that's certainly a guidepost to future questions, Matt. So thank you for that tip. Matt, drummer, percussionist, and occasional vocalist Kahil El-Zabar has led his group known as the Ethnic Heritage Ensemble for how many years? Would that be A, 50, B, 40 years, C, 25 years, D, 30 years, or E, 45 years?
So I know Matt Flieger is pretty upset that he didn't get this question because he's playing that record. It's a good record. I saw them do the performance at Winter Jazz Fest at Superior Ingredients. It was a great show. I've been seeing Kahil El-Zabar for, probably 20 years now, a little over 20 years. And I happen to know that there's a big 50th anniversary of this group. It started in, I believe, 1973 or 74. 2024 would be 50 years. So I'm pretty positive it's A, 50 years.
That is correct. And in fact, that 50-year mark is celebrated on the cover of one of the recent issues of Downbeat magazine.
Yes.
One of the keys. Drummer Matt Wilson's 2017 album Honey and Salt was inspired by what great poet? Would that be A, Langston Hughes, B, Carl Sandburg, C, Walt Whitman, D, Robert Frost, or E, Emily Dickinson?
One of the few Matt Wilson records that I have not extensively listened to, but I'm familiar with the concept of it. Oh, man. I'm ruling out Emily Dickinson and Langston Hughes. I'm going to go B, Carl Sandburg.
That is correct. It was Carl Sandburg who inspired Matt Wilson's record, Honey and Salt. They actually were from the same region of Illinois. Rusty, which of the following prominent jazz drummers is from New Orleans? Is it A, Ed Blackwell, B, James Black, C, Herlin Riley, D, Johnny Vidakovich, or E, all of the above?
Ooh. Well, this is I know one in particular is from New Orleans, and I'm not too sure about the others that would make it all of the above. But I may be giving Ted a point on this, but I'm certainly going to go with what I know, and then that's Ed Blackwell.
So, Ted? Ted, which of the following prominent jazz is from New Orleans? And we're giving you this one. A, Ed Blackwell has been eliminated. B, James Black. C, Herlin Riley. Or D, Johnny Vidakovich, or E, all of the above?
Well, the only thing that's giving me pause is that you have been known to be tricky about place names, as with Earl Hines, for example, who was from Pittsburgh, but Duquesne. So I'm just wondering if a couple of these people were from, let's say, Algiers or something like that, and not New Orleans in particular. Right. You see, this is what happens when you're on the show a while and you deal with it every week. Yeah. No, but since I have no knowledge to the contrary, Ed Blackwell is definitely from New Orleans. Herlin Riley, I've interviewed a few times. His grandfather played with Louis Armstrong in the boys' home, and his relatives were the Lasties. He comes from that kind of family. James Black and Johnny Vidakovich. So I'm going to have to go with E, all of the above.
Yeah.
Well, that was one you definitely stole, because Rusty kicked it off. Rusty had a right answer, but not the complete right answer.
I thought it was another trick.
Well, it wasn't a way.
Right.
The members of what NEA Jazz Master saxophonist Charles Lloyd referred to or called his new quartet included Jason Moran on piano, Reuben Rogers on bass, and who on the drums? Was that A, Jonathan Blake, B, Brian Blade, C, Eric Harlan, D, Kendrick Scott, or E, Carl Allen?
Shortly before I moved to Philadelphia a couple of years ago, I actually saw Master Lloyd play with this gentleman who I think was the only holdover of that band. And there's an ECM record also with this formation. We're going with C, Eric Harland.
That is correct. We are tied 10-10. Our sudden death question is up next. And as our returning champion, Matt goes first on sudden death. Matt, drummer and bandleader Sherry Maracle who co-founded the all-woman big band known as Diva, is a native of what city? Is Sherry Maricle a native of New York, A, New York, New York, B, Philadelphia, C, Chicago, D, Buffalo, or E, Syracuse?
Oh boy.
Sudden death.
Yeah. So I know that this is, I know Sherry Maricle is from New York. I don't know why New York State. I don't know why I know that, but I know that I've read that somewhere. This is a total guess. I'm going to go with D, Buffalo.
And there it is. Our total guess wins again. We encourage each and every one of you to try your hand and play Jazzology. And if anyone watching would like to become a contestant on Jazzology, click the link below and simply fill out the form. You must be 18 years old or older, and be sure to follow us on social media at Jazzology Trivia Show to get all the latest news and updates. And if you missed the show live, you can find the archive on the Savage Content YouTube channel. Until next time, peace.
Thanks, Willard. Thanks, Matt. See ya.
Good game, Morgan.
You too.